भाई क्या कर रहे हो? करोगे रिकॉर्ड?
रिकॉर्ड करना है। यस, रिकॉर्ड करना है।
कर लो। रिकॉर्डिंग। इसमें रिकॉर्डिंग का कोई बॉट होता है या डिस्कॉर्ड इनहेरेंटली सपोर्ट करता है?
ठीक भैया, वो
अभी स्टार्ट तो नहीं किया ना? अच्छा कर दिया क्या? चलो ठीक है। तो इसमें फिर अपने यूबी की वाला पार्ट नहीं करेंगे, ओनली बेसिक जीपीजी।
श्योर भैया। भैया, we can start whenever you're ready.
कूल। तो स्टार्ट करते हैं then। तो थ्योरेटिकल पार्ट करना है या डू वी वांट टू गेट स्टार्टेड विद द हाउ टू डू इट, लाइक प्रैक्टिकल स्टफ? व्हाट डू यू गाइस वांट?
पहले थोड़ा जस्ट दे दीजिए।
ओके। तो हाई लेवल GPG works with asymmetrical keys. What's asymmetrical keys, or like what's asymmetrical encryption? Anyone कोई बताना चाहेगा?
डिफरेंट कीज यूज होते हैं मतलब इनके डिक्रिप्ट करने के लिए।
Correct. So different keys for encryption and decryption. Essentially like different keys for the owners and the public. So for encryption, the basic concept is anyone should be able to encrypt and only the owner should be able to decrypt, right? And for the signature, it's vice versa. Only the owner should be able to sign, but anyone should be able to verify the signature. Correct? So, intuitively, जो private key है, which is with the owner, private key is used for decryption as well as signing the key. Oh, sorry, signing the content. ठीक है? तो public private key, there's a key pair. It can be of any type. There's a key pair. Private key should be kept very privately. A secret should be with the owner, should not be distributed, as the name implies. Public key can be distributed anywhere. You can even put it on internet. You can distribute it along with your package or repository or on your website. You can even recommend people or ask people to encrypt the message they want to send to you using that public key and put that public keys link. So it's meant to be public. There's no issue even if that is distributed everywhere. So that's fine. So GPG में, like originally it started as PGP, but that's a proprietary software. So GNU PG, which is short full for GPG, was made, which is open source. So GPG is basically a tool that you can use to encrypt, decrypt, sign, verify. But this is not the only use. You can use it for multiple other things. तो GPG का बस ये है good thing, like you can find it on almost any OS. Like it's widely supported. Linux पे it's very easy, Mac पे it's very easy, Windows में with additional few tools you can use it anywhere. Another benefit is the like if you're using UV keys, for example, let's say the private keys are in the UV key itself, so I can take someone else computer for the time being for any emergency usage and use that computer and my UV key to decrypt my messages. So GPG, because of the wide community support, is kind of a versatile now. It's available everywhere, it's used everywhere, but it's also very prone to breakage. तो GPG में you have to take care कि सब कुछ सही है. So there are few instances कि the key you have generated is not visible to the system, or UV keys are not working, or the encryption decryption algorithm or the key algorithm is not supported by the current version of GPG. तो ये सब चीज़ें हैं that you have to take care of. It is very prone to breaking down. तो ये सब चीज़ें consider करने वाली है. But let's get started first. Key like we'll do the basic stuff. Key generate करना. Use like put that key on GitHub so that any commit that we sign is marked as verified. Actually sign those commits. We'll do some basic encryption decryption. That's it. So before we get started, कोई question, anything? Cool. So let's start then. Let me share my screen to the terminal. So is this visible properly? Should I increase the size? Font size?
I think
It
you
is
should
visible.
increase a bit.
So
Ah.
so let's start. So first of all, like if you're on Mac OS, it's basic to install GPG.
Riya, please increase the size. Yeah, this is fine.
Cool. So for I think it's GNU-PG. For macOS, it's brew install GNU-PG. You can run this. It will install GPG on your macOS. For Linux, you can use apt, or you can use yum, or you can directly download from the source. Like it's up to you, totally up to you how do you do it. So right now it's version 2.4.6. This is the cryptographic library. We are using libcrypt here, like it's default. I'm not changing it. So जो है, it's it. So once we have this installed, so you'll have this GPG command here, like we ran GPG version, so we can use GPG commands. Now, to generate keys, usually the flow is if you run the default flow. So before that, I'll explain you type of keys. So there's a signing key, there's an encryption decryption key, and there's a certify key. So signing keys are, as name suggests, used for signing commits or documents or text that other parties with your corresponding public key can use to verify. Encryption and decryption keys, again, used to encrypt and decrypt documents or text or messages. Then there's certify key. Certify key is kind of your master key, which certifies your sub keys, as in your signing and certify, and your encryption decryption keys. So certify keys are to be kept very, very securely. And those keys certify your sub keys. Okay, like these are my sub keys and I am the real owner of them. Right. So in the default flow, the encryption decryption key is separate, but signing and certify keys are same. We do not want that. Like we want our all the sub keys to be separate, so we can work with them separately. So we are going with that flow. So you can start if you have terminal open. If you are ready, like you can install GPG for your own system. I'll wait for a few minutes. You can install GPG for your own systems. So you can run the command. If you have already it already installed, it's well and good. Those of you who not have installed can install it now. Let's wait for 2 to 5 minutes and then we'll do it together. Let me know once you're done, or you can react.
ऋषभ भैया एक बात बताऊं,
हम्म,
अभी
Yes.
डिस्कॉर्ड पे लिमिट रीच हो गई है, कुछ लोग ज्वाइन ही नहीं कर पा रहे आपकी मीट।
अरे भाई अ,
आपका जलवा है।
क्या मतलब NIT के प्राइस मनी से डिस्काउंट नाइट्रो बाय कर गया अभी।
हाय गरीबी।
सो जीमिट पे मूव करे।
मीट पे भी तो लिमिट रहती है, कैन समबडी कंफर्म?
नहीं, लिमिट उसका अच्छा खासा 200-300 तक हो जाता है।
हाँ 250।
अभी तो ध्रुव बोला था दैट ही वाज नॉट एबल टू ज्वाइन।
Gmeet has 100
हाँ,
people
यहाँ पे
limited.
मतलब मीटिंग आई कैन जॉइन बट वो स्ट्रीम नहीं खुलेगा ना।
अच्छा, स्ट्रीम नहीं वॉच कर पा रहे हो?
यस, सॉरी, द स्ट्रीम हैज मैक्स नंबर ऑफ पीपल्स।
रुद्राक्ष तुम स्ट्रीम कर सकते हो क्या? तो यूट्यूब से देख लेगा।
लॉल।
साइड में वो स्ट्रीमिंग का बटन ही क्लिक करना, रिकॉर्ड के ऊपर ही है।
अच्छा, वैसे सेशन तो रिकॉर्ड हो ही रहा है ना, विद स्क्रीन बीइंग
हाँ
रिकॉर्डेड।
हाँ, रिकॉर्ड तो होता है।
बस फिर आई थिंक वी कैन कंटिन्यू ऋषभ भैया।
कूल। तो विंडोज पे there is another tool. Actually विंडोज पे बहुत साल हो गए काम किए को, but there is another tool which is a kind of wrapper above GPG. You can use your PowerShell to work with GPG or Git terminal to work with GPG. Actually Git, if you install Git terminal, GPG pre-install होता है as far as I remember. तो you can Git bash पे फिर you can check GPG double dash version. है ना? cool. तो स्टार्ट करते हैं। तो GPG एक्चुअली मेरे को एक मैं साइड बाय साइड एक अपने वो मेरी ओपिनियन गाइड है, पुट दैट ऑन ब्लॉग आल्सो। मेरे खुद का एक वो है ब्लॉग की कैसे क्रिएट करना है, तो मैं एक बार साइड बाय साइड वो भी खोलता हूँ। Cool. So the command is generate key. We'll use the expert flag also. Expert flag may we unlock many other options like the type of algorithm to use for keys and subkeys. So as we will start. Okay, so it will ask for a few things. Real name, I'll put this. Email address, email I can put as cool. So it will ask for confirmation. Okay. Do I want to change name or email? No. It's all good. So okay. Now this is the pass. Like we have to enter passphrase. So passphrase is like your master password. Keep it like keep it securely. Have a strong password. So I'll just put anything that I'll remember. Okay. So if you see by default, signing and certified keys are created together, and encryption decryption keys created separately, right? But we do not want that, correct? As we discussed, we want certify key to be separate, signing key to be separate, and encryption and decryption key to be separate. So we'll regenerate the key, but this time we'll use the command full gen key, and again expert. See, now you see which kind of key do you want. So we'll set our own capabilities. See, sign and encrypt, but we want only like we'll set our own capabilities. Now you can see current allowed actions, sign and certify. We do not want sign here, as we had our previously generated key. Sign and certify are together. We do not want that. We want only certify key right now. So we'll toggle the signing capability. So I enter S. Now sign capability has been removed. It's only certify. Okay, it's good to go. So we'll do this. What will like enter Q. Then it will ask for the curve that we want to use. As you've seen, we are using ECC keys. So it will ask for one of the curves for ECC. This is the default, good to go, very recommended curve 25519. We'll do this. And expiry. So there are many rules, many good practices, best practices on the type of, the length of expiry that you should have. What I generally follow is I keep this set the expiry as 2 years for certify and 1 year for signing an encryption key individually. So this is just my practice, like you're free to choose your own, but you have to make sure that you constantly renew your keys. So this is just what I like to do. So it will ask like this key expires in 2027 on March 21st. Is it good? Yes. Now, same things, your name, your email, comment, nothing, like just not want to add anything. So yes, it's good. Okay. Now same thing. And the key is generated. Now, if you see, there are two keys, Rishabh at pointblank.club. So one is certify only key and one is sign, certify and encrypt. So if you see most of the tutorials on internet, you'll find this method. You just have to export this key, put it on GitHub, you're good to go. But we are going with this method. So what you'll have to do is copy this GPG, edit key, expert once again, and the key ID. So command for sub key is add key. Sorry. So we'll type add key. Now what capability? We want sign only key, which is ECC. Let's do this. It will ask for the curve. So one thing to notice is it's good to see. So you'll see the curve that we are going to use for signing is curve 25519. Keep this in mind. Again, 1 year. Really great. Yes, it will ask for passphrase to unlock your certify key. To create your sub key, you have to unlock your certify key. So we are going to enter passphrase for that, and the sub key is created. So this is SEC stands for security. This is the main security key. SSB stands for sub key. So this is the sub key. This is usage is only for signing. Correct. We'll add another key. This is for only encrypt. Again, same. 1 year. Yes. Good. So now we have 3 keys: main, certify key, there is signing key, and there is encryption key for my email address. Now when we save this, you can see we have 3 keys here, 3 different keys. So now if you do this, key ID format is equal to long. So you'll see each of the key has its own corresponding hash. So this is the primary key hash. These are the sub key hashes. So each key has their own corresponding hash. For majority of the purposes, you do not have to worry about these sub key hashes. You can use this for your GitHub signing, for encryption, decryption, mail encryption, decryption, everything. So you can use this. So here, how do we use this key? So let's say you want to publish the, or before that, does anyone have any question?
No, bhaiya.
Cool. So, like, we need the public key for many purposes. We want to send it to people, put it on GitHub, etc., etc. So, how do we export the key? So, copy this ID, GPG, export this. But now the problem is this key will be exported in binary. So, if you press enter, you'll see this is gibberish, machine readable, cannot be copy pasted anywhere. What you can do is you can forward it to a file. You can say master, or you can say Rishabh at point blank dot club dot asc or dot pub, let's say. Good. So now same thing is here, but this key can be put on websites, or you can put this in emails, send it to people, and they can directly import this using file. But suppose you want to copy paste, or you want to send it over WhatsApp or as plain text to anyone. So how do you do that? So you use this flag dash A. Dash A stands for armor. It will basically output this in ASCII format. So when you press enter and again get the same thing, this is the public key block. Same key, but in ASCII format. This key and this key are completely similar, only the format is different. Now you can copy paste this and send it to anyone. You can paste it on GitHub, anywhere. Any question? So let's say I want to write a message to this person. Like I want to write a message to myself. So what I can do is nano message.txt. This is a secure message. Cool. So currently we can see this message. We want to encrypt this. So GPG. Before that, make sure you copy the key ID. GPG encrypt. Again, we want the encrypted file to be in ASCII armor. So dash A, who will be the recipient? Dash R is for the recipient. So we can either enter the key ID or we can enter the email. But currently we have generated 2 keys for the same email. So right now I'll enter the key ID. Right. Now the message. So message is this. Yeah. So now if you ls into the directory, you'll see you have a new file, message.txt.asc. This is basically the encrypted message. Right now, if I remove this file, there is no trace of this file. This is the encrypted message. The original message is nowhere. Right? Again, this message cannot be read by anyone except me. I am the owner of the private key. I have the private key stored in my system, so only I can read this. So how do I do this? So GPG decrypt. The beauty of decrypt command is the key ID is already stored in the PGP message, so you do not have to actually define the key that you are using. You just have to enter the decrypt flag, and this it will ask for passphrase. And yes, this is a secure message. So we get the message here. You can encrypt anything. You can encrypt image files, audio files, PDFs, text files, anything, even emails. So anything that can be encrypted using GPG keys. This is the basic concept. And if you want, anyone can send me your public key. I'll encrypt the message, send it to you so you can try to decrypt it. Or we can do vice versa. I can send you my public key, you can send me the message and I can decrypt it here. How do we do it? बहुत साइलेंट सेशन नहीं है ये.
क्या हुआ? कुछ बोलूंगा मैं? कुछ बोलूंगा मैं?
जो तेरा मन करे रिकॉर्ड हो ना.
हाँ भैया, स्क्रीन नहीं दिख रही है एक तो आपकी, मुझे तो
अच्छा, कोई प्रॉब्लम.
वो
सो
लिमिट एक्सीड.
अच्छा ठीक है. YouTube is the way. Then ठीक है. This key is generated. तो अब इसे हमें GitHub पे like will go to the commit signing quickly. तो ये करते हैं अभी. ये बेसिक वाला अपने कंप्लीट करते हैं. यू कैन व्यू द वीडियो. उसके बाद we'll have another follow-up session जहाँ पर डाउट्स होंगे, because not everyone can view it right now, right? तो क्विकली जैसे अब ये मेरी पब्लिक की है, आई जस्ट कॉपीड. और अब मैं जैसे गिटहब पे जाता हूँ. So when you go to this GitHub settings and keys, तो यहाँ पर आएगा like GPG keys का section. So new GPG key, title and my public key. I've pasted it. 1 second. So you'll see this key GPG tutorial with this email rishabh@pointblank.club. This is unverified because I've not added this key, this email on my account yet. So this is unverified. But for the purpose of this tutorial, it will work. So what we have to do now, we have already added the public key on GitHub. We'll go back to our terminal. Yeah. We'll do get init here. Right. Now Here in this directory, I'll do the few things like the name of the author, his or her email, which in my case is this. So the email should be same as the email of the GPG key. So this is necessary, otherwise there will be a conflict. Your commits won't be verified. Now, user dot signing key. So here we have to enter the key ID of the signing key. So our key ID is this. So now every time there is a commit, this key ID will be used. In this, only in this particular repository, because we are using local flag. If we do global, so if we use global flag, everything that you change here will be changed to the entire Git on your system. So we want changes only for this local repository right now. So we have done this. Now, suppose you make any comment. You add this file. Now git commit. You do -s for the sign action. Like you have to put this flag -s. So Git can sign your commit. Messages, anything. This commit is now signed. So how do I verify signature? Let me check. Yes. So here you can see the commit ID and the signature made on this date and this time. Good signature from this Rishabh Lakhotia, Rishabh at pointblank.club. Good signature as it. This signature is verified. If I delete my public key from here, or if this public key does not exist on my system, this signature won't be shown. Right. But when it will be pushed to GitHub, the public key is stored there. So GitHub will itself add a verified badge. But if you're checking this on your local system, you should have the public key of that person who is signing the commit. This is just a caveat because most of the things will be verified on GitHub. So you do not have to have every signature, every public file on your system. This is just a good to have thing. So any questions so far?
Bhaiya, I made a GPG key, so if you want, we can do the messaging part.
Cool. Send me the public key.
Okay, Bhaiya. How should I send it to you?
Send on Discord itself.
Okay.
In games.
I've sent it in chat, Bhaiya.
I haven't got it. Sorry.
It's in Vault Voice chat.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, yes.
Or should I send it in bot spam?
No. Yeah, it's fine. I got the message. Okay. So let's go back to this directory. So I'll save your key here. public key block. So why? Because I have to import this key, GPG import pub.key. Now, if I do this, sorry, this is, oh yeah, by the way, GPG dash capital K is to list your private keys. GPG dash small k is to list your public keys also. So I do not have your private keys, so I do not see your key here, right? But I do have your public key because I have imported just now, so I can see your public key here. So there's an issue. There's no encryption decryption key here. So there's only sign and certify key.
Yeah, okay. I'll make this one and send it. Where should it be a sign and encrypt or?
No. So certify should be separate, sign should be separate, and encrypt should be separate.
I'm not getting an option for just encrypt.
Can you share your screen so we'll do it?
Yeah, wait.
So are you adding a new key? Full gen key. Okay. So yes, doing from scratch. So you can do put in 11. Yes. Now toggle the sign capability. Yes. Now Q. Well, 1. Okay. Yes. So now edit this key. Yes. This is only a certify key. We'll need encryption key also. So edit this key. Copy the key ID. Yes. GPG. Edit key. Double dash edit key.
Edit.
Edit dash key. Double dash expert. Expert.
Oh.
And paste that key ID. Yes. So now add key. No, one single word. Now we want sign only key. 10. Now same process, add key, but for encrypt. 12. Yes, save.
Okay, Viyana. So now should I exit out of this?
Save. Actually, write save and enter. Yes. Good. Now you can export this key. The key ID is different now.
Yeah, okay. Only the encryption.
No, you can send me the entire key. Public key is fine. You can send me the entire key. The last key is the new one. Yes.
This one, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Press enter. Just press enter. It's fine. So you can copy paste this and send it.
I sent it to you.
So let me share my screen now. So I put this key. Before importing this, I'll delete your key. Delete keys and your public key. So I'll delete your old public key and import again. So now if you see, I have your signing key as well as encryption key. Now I have to, last time I showed you how to encrypt using key ID. This time I'll encrypt using email. So before that, let me stop my screen sharing and write a message. So you do not see what I'm writing.
Okay. Okay, Bhaiya.
So I have this message written. Now your email, GPG, encrypt in normal form. Recipient is Tanmay. And the message is this. Okay, so I have imported your keys, so I have to actually trust it. I haven't done that, so it's asking like, do you want to use this key? Yes, I want to use this. And this is the encrypted message. So let me send it to you. Or I'll send it to the entire chat. So this is a proof that no one else can read this. Even if I send this message publicly, only the private key owner can read this message, right? So even if anyone tries, they cannot read this message. So Tanmay, can you reshare your screen so we can decrypt this?
Yes, Bhaiya. Should I save it to a file or can I directly just put it on the command?
You can directly put it on command, but because this is multi-line, it will be
So I'll share
Let-
it. Okay.
saving it in file makes it easier.
Is there a file format that I should use?
Dot anything dot ASC, or you can dot TXT dot ASC. That's fine. Yes. File format is not compulsory, but nomenclature helps when creating a new file, decrypted message. Yes.
Did I do something wrong here?
ये स्ट्रीमिंग बंद कर दो, रिकॉर्डिंग बंद कर दो, क्या हो रहा है ये सब?
Why
So
not?
not sure. Did you paste the message correctly? Can you catch this?
रिकॉर्डिंग मत बंद करना.
Oh, you have put your public key. You have to put the encrypted message. This is the public key.
Oh, okay. I didn't copy the message. Yeah.
Yes. Now decrypt it. Yes. You'll ask for your passphrase. Yep. This is the message. So if anyone else tries this, no one will be able to decrypt this. Only the private key owner can decrypt it.
Okay, Bhaiya. So shall I stop streaming?
Yeah, you can. So any questions so far?
Bhaiya, how do I delete a key?
So for deleting, I'll show you. So one of the most common use cases is deleting a public key. So let's say I want to delete your key, right? So GPG and delete key and the key ID. So this will delete the public key. Yes, it's deleting public key is easy. You just type yes and it's done. It's no more here. But if you want to delete a private key as well, suppose you want to delete this key, GPG, delete secret keys and the key ID. So this will delete the secret keys, but keep the private key on the system itself. But now suppose if you want to delete secret key as well as the public key, so the command is delete secret and public keys and the key ID. So there are three commands now. Delete keys is only for public key. Delete secret keys is only for the private key. It will keep the public key on the system itself. Delete secret and public keys is for both. So if you press enter now, so delete from keyring, yes, really delete. Like this is a secret key. So it's asking for the confirmation again, yes. Now, again, there will be few more confirmation for all the three keys. Yes, 1, 2, and the last, yes. Now if you see, the other key has been deleted. This is a newer key. The older key for Rishabh at pointblank.club has been deleted. Similarly, its corresponding private key is also deleted.
Okay, yeah. Thank you.
So let's delete this key also. Meanwhile, so delete secret and public key. Yes. Done. So even this key is deleted. Sorry. This key is also deleted. Cool. Any other question?
Oh, yeah, I had a question. So let's say we use delete secret and public keys and provide the hash, but the public key is not there. Will it throw an error or will it just complete it?
So usually if you have private key, the public key is already there. So it shouldn't throw an error. I haven't really done it, but the private key also has the public key within itself. So it shouldn't throw an error. I haven't done it though. Let's try it. So GPG full gen key expert. Cool. So let's delete its public key first. Okay, so you cannot delete the public key if you have the secret key here. So yeah, so it won't throw an error. If you have the secret key, it will definitely have the public key. So it's not possible.
Okay, thank you.
Cool. Anything else?
थैंक यू भैया सेशन लेने के लिए सब लोग ताली बजाओ चलो
अरे भाई
हाँ हाँ हो गया हो गया हो गया
हो गया
भैया add a
हाँ.
So, like for example, what do we do in a scenario where we are transferring our systems?
So ये थोड़ा सा ट्रिकी पार्ट है because The keys should not be transferred, but you also want the key, same key everywhere. तो ये थोड़ा सा tricky part है, advanced part है, so I'll cover this later. We can also export our private key and transfer them securely. But the definition of securely depends on person to person. But there's a way to export the private key. वो बाद में कभी cover करते हैं.
Like in my scenario, I sometimes work on Mac, sometimes PC, sometimes a private server.
Hmm.
So should I create a different GPG key for each of them?
So if you're working on a server, what you can do is there's a concept called key forwarding. So you can, like, if you do any key operation on a remote server using SSH, anything or any GPG related action done there will be forwarded back to your original system, your host system. So you can use the same key which is on your host. There's a different concept altogether for that. But generally, keys, private keys, why I'm asking you to keep this separate is you can keep your certified key with long expiration securely in some place in some isolated backup. On different systems, you can have your signing and encryption key. So just in case your let's say your encryption key gets compromised or your signing key gets compromised, it has a expiry of a small time, let's say 6 months, 3 months, 2 months. So after that, it won't be usable, or the expiry cannot be extended without certified keys. Right. But again, this is a tricky concept. Depends on person to person how they do it. So we'll cover it in next session.
By the way, if you ever have to copy keys, there is a SSH copy ID command that you can use to copy keys from one system to another.
Yes, SCP. But again, that depends. Like, what's your definition of securely? How do you?
Correct. Yeah.
SCP is anyway without encryption. So how do you ensure your private key is not being compromised?
Correct.
So
Correct. That's
general consensus with SSH keys is that it should never leave your system. If you're using multiple systems, you should have multiple SSH keys. It should be unique to your system. So like that concept is also being used in case of GPG, that you should not use your certified key in multiple systems. Certified keys should be very isolated, and only the signing and the encryption key should ever leave that secure system.
Got it. So one more thing.
Mhm.
So let's say I added my GPG keys on GitHub.
Mhm.
So after adding the keys, the commits I push after adding the keys will be shown as verified, right?
Correct.
And
yeah. As long as you push with the key, like you have to. Yeah.
And
I mean,
commits with that same key.
yeah. You have to sign your commits with that key actively, like each time. ऐसे ही नहीं अपने आप ही नहीं हो जाएगा. Otherwise, anyone who accesses your GitHub account, if somebody hacks your GitHub account from halfway across the planet, then they'll be able to sign, right? The whole point is that whoever is signing from your GitHub account should have access to both your physical system where the key is stored as well as your GitHub account.
hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. I let
Yeah.
Shruti.
So, did you
Okay.
understand the concept? Yeah, please.
Okay, so I had a doubt. So when we make a certified key, uh, does it actually like cap the duration? Let's say I set a expiration of 2 years, and if I try to make a signing key with 3 years, does it allow me to do it?
Yeah, you can do it. You can
And-
even have the non-expiring keys. Even that is possible.
But then if my certified key gets expired, does the signing key also get expired?
Actually, no. So that's like caveat or nuance of this. No, it does not get expired. So if you're certified, see, because GPGs are local to your system, there's no central governing authority. Even if the keys expire, you can actually edit the key even after the expiry of those keys and extend the expiration date. So this is what I have done. So my key was generated in 2018 or 2019, and every year I extend the expiry by 1 year. So I've extended the expiry almost 5 to 6 times now, and once or twice it was after the key had already expired. So even that is possible. And having non-expiring keys is also possible. Having long expiry keys longer than the expiry of certified key itself is also possible, because it's very decentralized. There's no governing authority that says no, you can only have such and such expiration.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so like continuing with the topic of security. So if I'm pushing something to GitHub, then should I use a token or SSH?
As in a personal access token,
Yes.
I think PATs are kind of a clumsy implementation of the same idea. Just use keys, man. Like PATs are useful when you want to like clone restricted sites without having to sign in, because command line says sign in is not allowed anymore, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you have to generate that thing to clone the repo, but keys take care of it both ways, right? You can pull and push, and, and that PAT thing, the only difference is that personalized access token thing is generated from the GitHub side and you store it on your local machine. Whereas the key is something that you generate and the public thing is stored on GitHub. So it's sort of a similar concept, but yeah, it's better to, because you can use the same key for multiple sites and multiple purposes, right? It's sort of like a digital identity online.
Yeah.
So I prefer SSH because my SSH key is in my YubiKey. So
Yeah.
it's
Flex.
in the key I can use. कौन बोला flex? कौन बोला?
मैं ही बोला हूँ.
अरे भाई. हाँ तो हाँ है actually flex. So इट्स देयर पब्लिक की, बस मैंने कहीं ऐसे गूगल कीप में स्टोर कर रखी है. I can use this key in any of the system. I just have to enter pin and tap on it और काम चल जाएगा.
Right. Like I mostly use personal access tokens और वही Google Keep में add कर रखा है. और I have this 1 month expiry set. So every 1 month I generate a new key and use it everywhere.
So if you have your pad stored in Google Keep in plain text,
Correct, that's stupid. Because that any system is only as secure as its weakest link, man. Like
if
that's
someone
not,
gets your Google account or
yeah.
you leave your system unlocked, so you're not only exposing your Google account, you're also exposing GitHub. So not a good idea.
So like if I'm storing a token, where should I store it?
Do not. So
Huh?
if you're like you can do this, you can log in with your token and delete it. Alternatively,
Some
yeah,
people also use BitLocker and other things that they encrypt with a YubiKey and store the thing inside that. Like,
actually yes.
yeah.
Even if you forget YubiKey, you can use BitLocker or any password manager to store your PATs.
Right. Makes sense.
Yeah, but again, like iterating on what Rishabh said, right? That it's no use if you use signed keys in only one place like GitHub, and everywhere else you have a shitty password that's based on your birthday and pets and your name or your family member's name. You have to sort of adopt it as a lifestyle. Like YubiKeys, I think they're supported everywhere in the Google ecosystem now, at least. But Yeah, like my key is there. It has NFC enabled, so even on my phone, I can like sign into my accounts using the key itself just by tapping the key at the back. Yeah.
So is is having this physical key similar to something like a pass key kind of?
Sort of, yeah, but the only thing is that the UB key can't be duplicated. Like it's so foolproof that that's why always people say that you should buy UB keys in pairs. You should never buy one because if you set them up as a pair in the beginning, then if one key you lose, you can use the backup key to recover your account. But otherwise, if you set it up in such a way that only there is no backup method, right? Then if you lose your UB key, then nothing on earth can decrypt or recover your account.
Holy shit. Okay.
Yeah, because it's like a 1024-bit key that's generated every time you sign in. That's the thing behind TOTP or FIDO, right? So it's so secure that not even the NSA can hack your account if you lose access to that. So, like, in theory, if you are ever doing something like illegal on your laptop and you encrypted the sign in with the UB key and the police showed up and you just burned your key or broke it into pieces, then nobody can hack into your system.
Damn.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Dear FBI, if you're watching this on YouTube, this is Ashutosh Pandey.
You know, like I can give you one example of one of the most valuable keys on the planet, which is the Bitcoin founder key, right? Bitcoin was in the original Bitcoin white paper. There was one Satoshi Nakamoto who founded Bitcoin, and he posted on the forum signed with one key, one particular key. And and 3 years after the creation of Bitcoin, that account and that key was active. And now many fake people, like hundreds of people around the world, claim to be Satoshi Nakamoto, but the only way to prove his identity would be to that account for somebody to sign something using that key. If the person showed up and said that yes, I am Satoshi Nakamoto and I am signing this message via my GPG key, that would be the only proof that yes, this is actually the founder of Bitcoin speaking. But unfortunately, in the last 13, 14 years, that person has never done that again. After 2011 was the last message, I think.
Nice.
And that one account is worth, I think, billions of dollars now, right? Just what if the founder lost his key?
Memes हैं बहुत सारे.
Yeah. But from the early days of Bitcoin, there are many people like that, legit, that have lost their key. They don't have access. And their accounts are worth millions of dollars, but they can't access it.
Yeah,
But long story short, you should get UB keys.
Yes. Always in a pair. Two of
and
them.
one
And
more thing, like, how do I attach this key to like mailing and stuff?
So mailing may generally you use GPG keys, and there's another thing called S-MIME. So S-MIME is a central certificate authority. You have to get that certificate from provider. GPG key use कर सकते हैं. Now the concept remains same. The only exception is the private key of GPG is stored in your UP key. The overall concept is same, that you encrypt message using recipient's public key. When they re-encrypt and send it to you, you use your private key to decrypt it. But in essence of UB key, only the private key of GPG is stored in UB key. So that part is different. उसके अलावा सब same रहता है.
yeah, but in general, जो भी 2FA होता है ना, wherever you see two-factor authentication, it allows you to set up the second factor as a key, whether it is Gmail or GitHub or any other site. It usually allows that, and wherever it's not possible, but wherever GPG keys are supported, you can use the UV key in the way that Bhaiya described.
Yes.
Yes.
And now FIDO2 has come, there's a support for resident keys. So earlier it was only a pure 2FA key that you have to enter your password and then tap on the key to authenticate the key, like authenticate yourself that you actually have the key. But now, since FIDO2, there's a thing called resident keys. What resident key does is it will store more details of your account, your username, your login credentials, all that stuff. So you do not have to enter your password. You can actually use your key to sign into your Google account. That's it, no password. Only the pin
Correct.
of the key, tap tap on
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
These are
Yes.
called resident keys. Inherently more secure than password and 2FA combination. But again, depends on use cases, person to person, how they perceive it.
Yeah.
Older UV keys had a limit of 25 resident keys, if I'm not wrong, 25 keys. UV key 5.7 and onwards have a higher capacity. Much higher, like higher than any one of us will use.
Yeah, but again, it's like that whole lifestyle choice thing. Like, I remember one friend, that guy was like, he was this full far left wing, and he told that I am talking to people that if they get to know, I'll get into trouble with the government and all. So that guy used to use Proton Mail and shit, which is good. Proton Mail is encrypted mail, but then he used to post on Facebook about stuff, and he had these people in his friends list. So it's all about your digital trail, right? Sort of. In UK, I think you can use GDPR laws to get a full report of how much data these companies store on you.
Mm.
But in general, did everyone understand the concept of VS session? Like why this is important, why you should at least start signing your commits with keys and all that? Did anyone understand the point, or are there any questions?
Bhaiya, I had a question, not exactly related to GPG, but rather password policies. Like, what would you say is a good like password policy, and like how would you, if you have to create a password, what do you do? Bhaiya?
Use a password manager, generate
Yes,
password from there. Do not remember it.
correct.
Try to remember it. Just generate from there, store it there. Have unique passwords for every website.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a very unique psychological study behind this. That generally what happened is people were storing plain name passwords, so all these people gave recommendations, right? That your password should contain some numbers 1 to 9, then it should contain some capital letters, some special characters. But unfortunately, that made some passwords easier to crack. Like the main point property of a secure password is something known as its entropy. Okay, entropy means your randomness of the information. So before, what happened was, when you allowed like only text-based character passwords, it could be literally anything. But when companies started telling that you should have numbers, some special characters, and your like some capital and small letters, most people, what they do is they use either their birth date or their parents' birth date or their siblings' birth date or somebody's marriage anniversary or something like that, followed by an @ symbol or hash symbol, followed by either a name or something. So the problem is human brains are not good at remembering numbers or random sequences of numbers and characters. So we use limited numbers and sequences that we know. And unfortunately, this makes it very prone to social engineering attacks. Have you ever seen those Facebook games where they ask you, like, what was your pet name, where were you born, all those shit, where people play those games and later on they get hacked? So that's an example of social engineering. So the best way to be secure is what Bhaiya said, is don't try to create a password that you can remember. use a password manager that randomly generates a really long, really complex, high entropy password and just use that.
Yes, Priya.
Don't,
I use Bitwarden, but Bitwarden password I written how do you keep it?
what?
I use Bitwarden, but Bitwarden has a master password that you have to keep, and that is a password that you have to keep it on your own.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that you can lock that. You can use a YubiKey to sign into Bitwarden, right?
Yeah, but YubiKeys are expensive.
Yeah, I mean that is there, but I mean they are expensive, but it depends on what you regard as a very expensive thing, right? Like
Yeah,
it's about digital security, and if you're working in security, then I think you have no other choice.
yeah, that is
Do
true.
an internship. I think with 1 month stipend, you can easily get enough keys to last you a lifetime. They don't spoil, they don't go bad. They last decades. I brought a key 7 years ago with Rishabh. It's working fine. It's been in the laundry a couple of times, but it's working fine.
Yeah, there
It's,
was actually I think a few years back that one of like YubiKeys produced before I think some year were faulty.
I mean, that was one thing, and the other thing was the business of buying YubiKeys from large companies. Like when I brought YubiKeys, me and Rishabh, we brought it from some seller that he trusted rather than buying it off Amazon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is also one thing that buying it online from some very large store might, who knows if the key itself is backdoored. This,
So I think he's asking about the keys prior to version 5.7. Actually,
Yeah.
so there was a vulnerability in the cryptographic library. तो उसमें क्या हो रहा था, like it's a very very niche vulnerability. Like अगर कोई targeted attack कर रहा है, only then it is possible. So you have to take apart the key. उसके circuit पे you need a specialized hardware to extract the, not even the private key. I do not know the exact way, but उसमें like using that hardware you can extract some information, so you can intercept the messages. ऐसा कुछ था. But that's very
yeah.
targeted. You have to
And the
take a.
basic thing is required physical access to the key. The entire point of having a YubiKey is that you don't lose that key randomly. So, yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So unless you are someone with very high risk, uh, not it's not very necessary to upgrade to version 5.7.
See, it's like
Yeah,
sort of
actually.
like saying that, can your system be hacked into? It depends. But can your system be hacked into if I give you physical access to my system? Then the probability becomes a lot higher. So it's the same thing here. If I give you my key and my key is prior to version 5.7, and you have a lot of micro soldering equipment and logic analyzers and probes that can read signals, then it could be this thing. But by that point, that person can already use your key to do a lot of damage, right? So yeah, the entire point is, was it compromised in a way that somebody could do something as you without having your key? No, it was just
So Bhaiya, what do we do if our key gets lost?
so two, three things are there. One is that I think the keys come up with. I mean, there's a phrase that you are supposed to write and keep, right? Somewhere, Rishabh, yeah, like while creating the key.
No, no.
Some, no,
There's
no, right?
no,
Yeah,
no.
you
You
have, yeah,
delete from all the websites where your key is used. You have to delete the pass key or
y-
2FA. Yeah.
yeah, and yeah, that's one reason that you get the keys in pairs, so
Yeah.
that you have one key somewhere at home that is in a safe or in a locker or something.
Thank you, Bhaiya.
Rishabh, have you heard of the ICANN keys?
ICA.
Like the ICANN, well, keys, the
Oh, icon keys. Yes, 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 yes,
ICANN
yes.
keys. Yeah.
अरे हाँ, like Even you
This
can
is a
apply.
really cool. Yeah, this is like a really cool concept. Like, listen in, guys. Yeah, we tell them.
So even you can apply to sign the root server. Matlab, it's
Yeah.
possible. So you should have enough clout on the internet. I guess you already have. So you can do
So,
that. You will be invited to a key signing ceremony. You will be one of the 7 people.
in the world.
Yeah.
So,
But I
so,
there's a rotation every 3 months. It's done every 3 months.
so guys, basically the internet, you know how it's structured, right? Like there are top level domains like .com and .org and uh, .gov and .mil and all that. And then there are some root servers. There are very few root servers in the world. I think what Rishabh said was 7 or 8 root servers are there in the world.
So there are
And
13 server. So
yeah,
there are 13 root
yeah,
other case
yeah,
A to K, but they have thousands of servers all over
correct.
the world.
Yeah.
So
So
there
these
are
13,
Hmm.
so this key, there is an entire key signing ceremony, and there are 7 people across the world who are not allowed to travel together or be seen together usually, who have these keys. And it's in the event of a global cyber attack, right? Basically, these 7 people can sort of insert the keys together and sort of shut down the internet. So they're literally keys to the internet. So if you search ICANN and KSK key signing ceremony, you'll get a video of an old key signing ceremony where people are signing the keys to the internet. But even the internet is literally protected by physical keys. So just think about that. Yeah, it's literally some James Bond shit. So yeah, it's like the 7 Infinity Stones. You can't use the keys to do any damage, though. There, you can just sort of shut down stuff. It's
Hmm.
like a kill switch.
That is basically to disable the DNS system, not the entire internet.
Yeah, but
But
most of the internet will be unusable, right?
yeah,
Because URLs will fail to resolve. Like,
correct.
yeah. So most of the it will become like the dark web all over again. URL resolution will fail.
Acha, I'll have to drop. Baki, you
Yeah,
continue for some
yeah,
time.
sure, sure,
I have to drop for now.
sure.
Vidya, Ashutosh Bhaiya, I had a doubt. Now, let's say that you do shut down the root servers, but other servers would still have some of the websites cached, right?
They
There's
would, but yeah, yeah, go ahead.
there's there's a TTL. So it tells you the time the result should be cached. So I don't think there's any TTL for more than 1 day. So after 1 day anyway, it will expire.
So all websites, do they need to get like, do they require the root server to be active?
Yes, yes.
Eventually, yes. Eventually,
So
yes.
for root server, so root, uh, sorry, global TLDs to resolve, you need root servers. So
Global, yeah.
every domain needs root servers by transitive property. Nice.
Yeah. The only thing that would not be affected were sites on an intranet or something, like inside your college. If you on your college network, if you hosted some site, then obviously that won't be affected by something like this. But anything that's hosted on the global internet and has a TLD top level domain, right? That would be affected by a shutdown like this. Fortunately, we have never needed to use them.
Via would IP, like just direct IP addressing would work?
Direct IP addressing, would it work? I'm not sure, dude. I don't think it's that simple, right? Do you think Google.com would resolve to one IP address?
Probably not. Yeah.
Probably not, right? Yeah, the resolving part is a big part of the whole thing staying up. I don't think even pointblank.club would resolve to only one IP address. Yeah, you sort of depend on the TLDs and the root servers and the whole thing to work.